2005, the year of... I have no clue. I actually wrote this script on Christmas Eve while heading to my sister's house, so I was actually on a laptop in the middle of nowhere, no access to internet, couldn't look up any 2005 facts. I believe the housing crisis was out of control, maybe WALL-E came out, Hurricane Katrina. I know some stuff because that 205 song that Bush sang on jibjab.com, I listened to that a lot. I had it memorized with hurricanes and terrorists, but right now, who cares about all that stuff? This is a video game show where I talk about video games, and the games in 2005 were amazing. I'm talking Animal Crossing Wild World, I'm talking God of War, I'm talking freaking Jade Empire, a lot of fantastic games. Of course, these are actually the games that won the most Game of the Year awards. And they were a blast to play as well. Let me tell you, this is another one of the hardest episodes because each one could walk away with it, I'd be happy, and it was really, really tough just narrowing it down and choosing a winner. So let's go and let's see who won.
Resident Evil 4. Capcom's amazing game. I mean, it kind of spelled the end for the survival horror genre when future games tried to emulate it, but it worked great for its time. Also, I want to give some praise to this game because from the game brain aspect, this is a pretty amazing game. We're on a Nintendo console. Nintendo didn't actually develop the game brain for them. It's the first M-rated game on the Nintendo consoles that made its game brain, and it won all of its Game of the Year awards, and it was released in January. That is impressive. Alright, now for Sony, which has another legend in the game, Shadow of the Colossus. Team Ico's tentative prequel, and previous winner of Game Reign, Ico, bringing the same aesthetic, atmosphere, and quality in what can only be described as a puzzle game. Action-adventure? No way, get that crap out of here. Every battle in this game is an interesting puzzle, and I love it. And the winner for Microsoft is the best game that no one has ever played, Psychonauts. Holy cow, I heard that this game was good but got shafted, but this is a masterpiece. I have no clue how it got overlooked, but hey, it's got a sequel slated for 2019, so let's make sure to all buy it this time. Alright, so let's throw up some categories. Atmosphere, combat, best girl, boss battles, legacy. Yeah, those are good categories. Atmosphere, the enveloping world of the game, reaching in and dragging you to the stone parapets in Colossus, the mind of Miss Vodella, or the rural yet hostile countryside of Spain. Which game can combine graphics and music to bring you there most effectively? RE4 does a great job at this. I played this game at the tender age of less than 17. And the most important part of being scared by games is you gotta allow it. When I was younger, nah, I put on a brave face. But this time when I played it, I said, okay game, I'll let you take me. And by Joe, did it take me. The desolate color palette, the spooky Spanish groans of the Granados, and of course my favorite part, the music. Whenever there are enemies still left alive in an area, you have this tense music playing. Even if you can't see the enemies, you can't relax. But when the final one falls, the wave of calm that washes over you in the silence can only be described as magic. I said in a previous video if I reviewed a Team Ico game again, I would instantly give the points to them, but I don't know if I should. I mean, not to take away from the game's accomplishments here, but the game is gorgeous. How anybody can force this out of a PS2 blows my mind. The larger-than-life music. Oh, and speaking of larger-than-life, when you're fighting one of these behemoths and Wander's just grasping onto the fur for dear life, when that's happening, I'm not Chet sitting in front of a TV. I'm actually there, on the back of the Titan, letting out expressions of fear. Don't flip! No! Listen! It's right now! No! 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 So, the very first thing I thought when I saw this game was, what happened to your faces? But eventually the art style grew on me. Tim Schafer? No. Tim Burton. Honestly, this looks more Burton-esque than any attempt at a Nightmare Before Christmas video game. Honestly, I love it. And it establishes atmosphere on top of the normal atmosphere, and I hesitate to use the word normal because it's very stylized in the camp. You can also enter people's mind, and that opens up a whole new atmosphere. The war-torn mind of Oleander. The sophisticated simplicity of Sasha 9. And when you meet a paranoid schizophrenic whose mind is just a warped mess. Man, would you look at that, it's a warped mess. Psychonauts has atmosphere. Alright, point time! And I am going to break my promise that I made last time about giving Team Ico gold right off the bat. Mainly because I can't in good conscience not give anyone a point. What is this one worth? 1? Okay. And this one's worth 2. Yeah! There we go. Everyone wins. Seriously. Colossus' sweeping scale, RE4's tense action, Psychonauts' highly stylized world. It's all amazing. Combat. In games, you gotta kill stuff. But how are you gonna do it? Well, actually, each game handles combat in a completely different way. The world-famous tank controls makes its triumphant return, but with the over-the-shoulder view and the laser sight accuracy, it works! And the best part is the variety of weapons. So, you start off with this stinky little pistol. It's not too good, but it is great for stunning enemies, so you can walk up and give them a good old right hook. About 20 minutes in, you pick up the shotgun, and that's good for when things get really crazy. And after about an hour in this game, we meet #1 waifu extraordinaire, Merchant, who can hook us up with upgrades, machine guns, rifles. Oh, seriously, I love the RE4 Merchant. Every gun in Resident Evil 4 feels great to use and has a specific combat situation. And the combat situations that this game has set up for you are pretty fantastic. Alright, I'm afraid we're going to have to put Shadow of the Colossus in cuffs because it is killing it! Your foes are these giant monsters, and honestly, with such varied and cleverly crafted bosses, they have specifically crafted something amazing to fight. I mean, when I'm walking on something that I perceive as alive, that has the ability to have a spasm to send me flying, the way you feel during these fights is amazing. And when you can make something this massive feel vulnerable to you, oh, it is awesome. Finding all of the monsters' weak points is fun, but having them settle down long enough to plunge the ancient sword in, oh, it is cathartic. Alright, so Psychonauts has a pretty robust combat system. I mean, early on you have the typical 1, 2, 3 hit, as well as a jumping slam. But as the game progresses, you get mental aggression, which is kind of like a gun, telekinetic throws, and of course, pyrokinesis.
Oh no, it's happening again. Spontaneous combustion.
Yep, you unlock a lot of psi powers for fighting in this game. Enemies aren't too frequent, but there are a large variety of bosses, but I'll get to that later. Okay, unlike the last category, I am not gonna chicken out. I'll choose a loser, and that loser is Psychonauts. It's stilted. The combat is not flowing. Only 2 of your attacks are even viable, and it's just not that great. But the other 2 games, they are. I mean, Shadow of the Colossus is really great. You're stabbing, you're shooting, and it feels good when your attacks have an effect. But sometimes you don't know how to hurt the monster. You just attack it and the attacks just bounce off, and that doesn't feel good. As for all of the enemies in Resident Evil 4, they reacted to bullets flying into them. Switching through my weapons to match the second-to-second action, that is what gives the gold crown to Resi 4. Okay, so that was my initial name for this category. Ultimately, I could have called it characters or even writing, but come on. You name your category something interesting like this, people want to check it out. In fact, I bet there are a handful of people who didn't even watch the rest of the video, just saw this category's name and just skipped right here, wondering what I was smoking. So yeah, this category is basically writing, characters, and of course, best girl. So, for the girl, we've got Ashley. As a 15-year-old, I hated Ashley. Oh, I've got to babysit someone with a high-pitched voice? That's annoying. But I've actually realized that this game is built around escort missions. Ashley will duck under bullets, stay behind you while you're aiming, and she'll even hide in some crates that are hidden around the levels while you fight these two demon moms. As for the characters and writing, this installment embraces the cheesy writing that the series has become known for, and as mentioned, Merchant is my favorite character of all time.
Come back anytime.
Okay, big loss here. Okay, maybe not a big loss, but the girl is dead before the game even starts. But she must have been one dynamite gal if Wanderer decided to betray his family, culture, and fight 16 of the scariest monsters ever to save her. But the characters aren't too bad. Like your horse, Argo. You get attached, man. And that climactic ending, I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, but the characters and world are very interesting. So interesting, in fact, that when nothing is explained to the player after beating the game, I'm a little confused. I have so many questions, like, WTF was that ending, man? For example, I will show one image right now. I don't think it spoils too much, but I bet anybody who's played this game, I hope they can relate to me and say, yeah, that was kind of weird. Holy cow, this game is well written, and Lily is adorable and deserves to be in a list of like the top 10 female characters of all time. I am so glad that she's on the box for the sequel. Seriously, Lily's a great character. You know, in the beginning, she starts off as a little abrasive.
Well, actually, I was saving this plant.
But a little later in the game...
Let's make out! What?
But let's give props to the writing. This is just one of the funniest games I've ever played. It definitely rivals Miitopia in just the humor. Also, it reminded me a lot of the Lego movies. Just a non-stop barrage of jokes, most of them finding their mark. But much like Colossus, I'm not going to spoil any jokes here. Not necessarily because they need to be experienced fresh, but just because there's so many, I don't know which ones to choose. Okay, I'll choose one line. The first line in the game that gave me a good old hearty belly laugh.
You're like molasses going uphill in January with crutches.
Alright, let's hop on over to the point part. These are the grounds, these are the points. I did a terrible job at making this category seem fair. Boss battles. Meaningful fights with interesting mechanics. That's all? In the regulation 6 hours I spent with this game, I fought 3 bosses. The Giant, the Loch Ness Monster, and Chief Mendez. Of course, I do remember Salazar Krauser and Sadler fights from earlier playthroughs of this game. But while the combat of RE4 is great, the boss fights, not so much. You see, the fun of RE4 is planting your foot down and mowing down all of the foes that are coming at you. Every well-placed shot that you land staggers the foe. Even body shots on the foes will call a small reaction on the villagers, but shooting the big dogs, zilch. Even a point-blank shotgun blast doesn't even make these guys flinch. I do like the boat fight with Nessie, but everybody else just feels very unsatisfying because of their sponginess. Even the Gigantor! You drop this giant rock on him and he's just like, 100 tons of boulder, who cares? Okay, so this game knows how to do boss battles. Well, I mean, in all fairness, it is 16 consecutive boss fights, so I hope that they would be. I mean, each one is its own unique fight. A giant beast that you need to find a way to mount. And then cleverly use your stamina to maneuver around. And once you get to its glowy bit, it's stabbing time. They are all so much fun to fight. The first one, the second one, and the bird one stand out especially to me. But they're not all winners. Like the fourth guy, I could not figure out how to get up this guy's arm. His armor looks kind of brittle. Oh yeah, I guess you could say that. In fact, you've said it 4 times. What does that even mean? It means that you need to make him attack this one very specific part of the stage, and then you can hurt him. The boss fights that I beat with my own wit, amazing. The ones where I have 5 minutes of footage on the pause screen as I looked up what to do on game FAQs, not nearly as cool. Psychonauts, plain and simple, has amazing boss fights. It is the complete opposite of Resident Evil. The fighting may suck, but the boss battles make up for it in spades. Because the boss fights are built around the stiff combat. I'm talking the brain tank, I'm talking the sea creature, I'm talking this guy.
Overly intricate combination!
I love the writing in this game. I never had to look up how to beat these guys, but I did have to think. This game is at its best with its writing and the boss battles. My personal favorite is Den Mom. So you chase around this room and you shoot her a few times, and then she threatens to peck out your eyes.
It's time for me to pluck out your eyes!
Ha! You can't. That is the purpose of the goggles.
And so she just decides to turn the lights out instead, since she can see in the dark and you can't. But you just got a psychic power that lets you see through other people's eyes. So now you need to defeat her from her perspective. Oh man, these battles are just so good. Point time, and once again my bias ruins the need for a tally. Psychonauts rules, RE4 drools, and Shadow, you're alright. Legacy. How have these games been remembered? And are their 2005 counterparts even playable in the modern day? Before Skyrim was Skyrim, you know, re-released onto every system under the merciless skin cancer-causing sun, Resident Evil was ported to everything, even the PS2. Because it was that good of a game that people needed to experience. And I gotta say, being Skyrim before Skyrim has left many people many opportunities to play this game. I mean, I even own 2 copies of it. Granted, they're both GameCube copies, so it's not doing me a whole lot of good, but yeah, the reach of this game has been immense, and, in my opinion, earned. Now, with Sony as the producer of this game, it hasn't really had the chance to branch out onto other consoles, but it is so good that Sony has brought it back onto every single Sony console. The PlayStation 3 had an awesome HD remaster with Hornboy included on it, and it sold like hotcakes. And don't even get me started on the PlayStation 4, it didn't have a remaster, it had a remake, and it is so gosh dang beautiful. The fact that this game has been re-released with so many just better forms of itself, I feel speaks to its legacy far more than my limited vocabulary can. It's a game that deserves to be remembered. Oh, poor Psychonauts! While I was working on this video, I saw this did you know gaming fact. Apparently, Psychonauts sold less than 100,000 copies in its first year, even though almost all reviews gave it a 9 or higher. Heck, it even won enough Game of the Year awards to make it onto this stupid show. Oh, this absolutely breaks my heart. Psychonauts was so much fun for me when I played it. But since its initial sales were so bad, it hasn't had many re-releases. It had a PC re-release, and I believe the Xbox 360 had one, but that's about it. But the sequel is coming, and I will bet real human money that it is going to be amazing. So let's go and buy it, everyone! And now for the final scores. Shadow of the Colossus, you win the silver. Yeah, everybody who owns a Sony console, except for the PS1, has a chance to play this amazing game, and they really should. But Resident Evil 4 is available to everyone. Heck, I bet it even has a demake on the PS1. It is an amazing game, super fun, you deserve to play it, and that's why it deserves the gold. And with that, the final scores are... oh.
Apparently, it's a tie. I guess I suck at basic arithmetic because, I thought RE4 won. You can tell from my shirt and the fact that RE4 is already in here. I filmed this on a different day, but... yeah, I put RE4 here, and it's 555. However, while I was editing this, and each game does deserve to be up there, these are all amazing. That certainly, well, I don't know if they're better than all those. I should do an ultimate game reign, taking all the winners. But anyway, while I was editing, I actually realized I have so much more respect for Psychonauts' art style. Seriously, there's ladders that twist while going up there just so that they can have their own unique art style. I think it deserves the 2 points for atmosphere instead of just the 1. So it gets 6 points. It can be the winner. And there we go. There. The tie is resolved. Alright. For the next episode of Game Reign, we're probably gonna go on hiatus for a long time. I don't know if we'll if we even will return to Game Reign, for 3 reasons. Reason number 1, 2006 is when the 7th generation consoles come out. I don't know if I should do the PS3 versus the Xbox 360 versus the Wii, or if I should go back to the mid-90s and have like the PS1 versus the N64. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Reason number 2, 2019 is gonna be my year of Pokemon bootlegs. I'm gonna take a look at these primarily, also do my Patreon picks, a little bit of Wednesday, you know, just a lot of that. Don't really have time for Game Reign anymore. Reason number 3, these are easily my worst performing videos on my entire channel. Nobody watches Game Reign at all. I mean, if you're one of the very few people who did, thank you so much for watching this far in the video. It does mean a lot, but it's over. It's over. For a while. I don't know. They're the funnest videos to make, but oh yeah. But these videos, I think that they are gonna perform well, and I look forward to showing these to you. Thanks for watching this far in the video. Adios!
Wow, you just lost another 20 minutes of your life. Well, thanks for spending it with me. If you want to see the world of Pokemon bootlegs, you can check out this video about Pokemon Orange. It's the game I used to introduce myself to this odd world. We also have 2004's best games, and the third video is going to be one that YouTube thinks that you want to watch. Bye!